Some people, they don't just hurt you. They rewrite the story so they never have to own what they did to you. This is a bonus episode today. Bonus episode for the letter U. Have you ever tried to address something respectfully? Not to embarrass someone, not to attack them, not to create drama. Okay, that's not what we're trying to do. But simply because something harmful happened, and instead of reflection, instead of accountability, instead of even a conversation, they turned the entire thing around on you. Suddenly, you're the villain in their story. You're too sensitive. You're starting drama. You're misunderstanding. You lied on them. And now somehow, you're defending your character when all you did was try to address a harmful pattern. And that, my friends, is unaccountability. Our bonus for the letter U in the ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships. So, today, that's what we're going to talk about. Grab a snack, come on back, and let's get into unaccountability. Hey, my beloveds, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Lexi. And in this series, we've been walking through the ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships. Dynamics, naming behaviors, and so many people experiences, right? So many things that people experience on a daily basis. And you're going to. As long as you have friends, relationships, people in your life, you are going to experience one, if not all, of these toxic things. Right? And we always struggle to explain them. But today, we're talking about one of the most frustrating patterns of all. Closure, it doesn't always come. Apologies, they don't always come either, at all. They don't always come when they're genuinely deserved. When somebody wants you to apologize for something that you did not do, or that has nothing to even do with them, no, you don't apologize for that. Absolutely not. But when you know that you did something with that intent of goodwill, right, of helping someone or helping somebody realize that, no, you're doing something wrong, let me help you. People can't accept that, right? So this is where this unaccountability comes into play. Truth doesn't always get acknowledged at all. And simply, people refuse to own it. They refuse. When people hurt you, they refuse to own it. They truly do. So let's talk about it. They change the narrative to make it like you hurt them, but that's not how it is. So let's talk about it. Unaccountability is exhausting because it creates emotional confusion, as most of these traits do. Because healthy people, they think, if I communicate clearly, surely we can resolve this. But toxic dynamics don't work that way. They don't. When people are toxic, when people have their minds made up and they know that they're wrong, but that pride comes into play and they're never going to admit it, they're not going to be accountable for themselves, right? Then these toxic dynamics don't work that way. They definitely don't work that way. Accountability requires humility. It requires reflection. It requires emotional maturity, which a lot of times they don't have. And it requires honesty. And you can't be accountable if you're a liar. You cannot. And if you change the narrative to suit you so that people don't know what's really going on with you, yeah. You know, some people are really allergic to all four of those things. They're allergic. Some people would rather deny, deflect, distort, minimize, project, or rewrite history than to simply say, you know, I was wrong. And that's painful. That's very painful. Especially if you're someone who values communication as I do. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I'm a straight shooter. Pow, pow, straight shooter. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass to make you feel better. I'm not. Because that's not what a friend does. I'm not going to do that. And if you lead with kindness, and if you genuinely just want some peace, you think, surely, you know, I'll explain it clearly and they'll understand, right? But some people understand perfectly. They understand perfectly. They just don't want accountability. They don't want accountability. Big difference. Big difference. Toxic unaccountability sounds like, I never said that. Oh, you took it wrong. That's not what happened. You're too emotional. Why are you bringing this up? Everybody else agrees with me. After everything I've done for you? Does that sound familiar? That's what people who are unaccountable for their bullshit, that's what they do. That's what they say. That's what they do. They're never going to come out and say, you know, I'm so sorry I was wrong, or I realized that you were trying to help me and I just overreacted. No, they're never going to do that. They're going to make everybody think that you're the villain in their story. That's what they're going to do, and that they're the victim. Stay tuned for the letter V and you'll know just exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the deeper truth, though. Unaccountability is often about self-protection, right? It's self-protection, self-preservation, however you want to label it. Owning harm will force self-reflection, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And self-reflection can feel threatening to emotionally immature people. So instead, they protect their ego. They protect it at all costs. Not the relationship with the friend who they have turned things around on and made out to look like a liar, and they know that wasn't true. No, they don't care about that. They don't care about the relationship. That's not important to them. You know, I'm going to say that again for you. They protect ego, not the relationship. They don't. And if this is hitting home already, go ahead and put another U in the comments. Put another U in the comments. Because I know I'm not talking to myself today. I know I'm definitely not talking to myself today. We had the unmasking, and now we have unaccountability. So here's where this gets especially toxic. Unaccountability often comes with reversal. Like I said, with reversal. Meaning, not only do they avoid the responsibility, they make you responsible. They make you the villain. They make you the problem. And you're defending your intentions, right? When they know your intentions, they knew what your intentions were. They knew that you were trying to keep them from making a damn fool out of themselves. They knew that. But instead, they flipped the script because they didn't want anybody else to know how they really are behind the scenes. You know, they don't want to drop that curtain. They don't want to drop that mask just yet. They don't want to drop it. So you've got to defend your tone. You've got to defend your own memory of what happened, because you know damn well what happened, and you know that you didn't tell a lie. You've got to defend your character. And I feel like really you don't have to, because if people are dumb enough, and I am going to say that, if people are dumb enough, these are grown-ass people. If they're dumb enough to believe that you did something with malice intent, knowing damn well that, no, we know her. That doesn't sound like her. She has never done anything like that. She wouldn't do that. Then those people who are not questioning and asking, where's your proof that this person did that? Then they're not worth it for you. So you don't have to defend your character to any of those people. Not at all. Not at all. Not worth it. Because those people fall for the okie doke. They just fall for the okie doke. And, you know, after enough of all of that, you might start questioning yourself. And that's the trap. That's the trap. Don't do that. Healthy accountability, it sounds so different. It sounds so different. Healthy people may not always get it right. You know, we don't. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. We all do. But we have to learn how to own up to our mistakes. Healthy people can say, I didn't realize that. I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me. That wasn't my intention, but I hear your impact. You know, I hear you. That is what emotional maturity sounds like. When you take accountability, because when you say, I didn't realize that, and I'm sorry, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. When you can take accountability for yourself, beloved, and not blame everything on someone else who was just trying to be there for you, to keep you safe, or to keep you from making a big mistake, or whatever it is, whatever the issue is. You know, a lot of times when we try to keep, it's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So if you see something, you say something. And those people aren't emotionally mature enough to accept that. They're not, to accept what the intent that it's coming from. It's coming from your heart because you don't want to see anything happen to them. So it's coming from your heart. That is the intention. But they don't want to see that. They don't want to see that at all. And then if you don't say something and you let them fly by the seat of their pants and make a fool out of themselves, which they're already doing, then you're damned too, because then you let me do that? I can't believe you let me do that and you didn't say anything. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. Perfection isn't always required. It's not, but ownership is. Ownership is. Own your bullshit. Own it. Don't blame it on somebody else, and don't project your shit onto anybody else. Don't do that. Don't do that. As adults, don't do that. Come on. And I just want to lovingly say something to my people who are over 50, because I am somebody of a certain age. And at this age, we're not begging grown folks for basic accountability. We're not begging for that. We're not. No, ma'am. No, sir. We are not begging. If someone consistently refuses ownership, then believe that pattern. As Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they really are, believe them. Believe them, beloved. Because an apology withheld occasionally, okay. You know, we're all human. Okay. But a lifelong pattern of deflection, that is character. That is character. And, you know, you can't do anything about that. Those patterns can't be changed. They just can't be changed. So if you've ever walked away from a conversation wondering, wait, how did I become the issue? then hear me. Listen to me, please. You are not crazy. You're not. Some people survive by rewriting reality. That's what they do. They rewrite it. And they change the narrative and they project everything back onto you. Some people survive that, right? They survive by doing that. That's their thing. But your peace does not require their confession. It really doesn't. It doesn't require that. You already know what, and guess what? They got to live with the bullshit because they got to live with themselves. And they know who they are and what they did. They know that. You're in the clear. You did what you set out to do as a friend, as a partner, as a co-worker, whatever the dynamic is, right? Your healing doesn't require their apology. It doesn't. It doesn't require that at all. Not at all. Not at all. And your truth does not disappear. It doesn't. Because someone refuses to acknowledge it, your truth doesn't disappear. Because guess what? People who don't take accountability, right, and they are unaccountable, the same pattern is going to happen because that's how they operate in patterns. And the same thing is going to happen again. And somebody else this time, because you're done. You're like, yeah, I'm done with them. They're dead to me. I'm done with them. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Somebody else is going to be in your shoes next time. And they're going to see exactly how it is. And they're going to be like, oh. Maybe they really did do that thing, right? But it'll be too little too late then. Too little too late. So this was our bonus episode of the ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships, the letter U for unaccountability. This one was a heavy one. It was a heavy one. And if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments, please. I love to read your comments and to respond to them. I love to hear your own personal stories and how this happened to you. I love to hear them. I love to read them because we've all been through something. All of us have. And if you're following this series and you've been following since the letter A for animosity, please, please, please tell me down below. Tell me, what's your experience now with unaccountability? And as always, my loves, you know that I love you plenty. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. And I appreciate you. I thank you for your true support. I thank you for the ones who truly support me. I'm so grateful to you. Very grateful to you. And those who don't, I'm grateful to you too. Because I know now who you are and I know what you're about. And thank you for opening my eyes. Thank you so much. So, on that note, and I'm proud of you, proud of us as a collective here. So proud of you. But have an amazing day. Stay tuned for the letter V. And I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.